The following program does not have a normal intro because I was really too busy smoothing other things over to get it done. So, Ori? Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Viewers Discretion. I am your host, Joe Newman, aka Good Lawgic. Hope you all who are celebrating the holiday of Easter will have a phenomenal Easter, hopefully with friends, family, loved ones, acquaintances, people who don't annoy you, things of that nature. Those of you who aren't, I hope that who aren't celebrating Easter, I hope that you have a phenomenal day as well. With it being Easter, we should probably start this off. I'm very little torn about how to handle the show tonight, and I'll tell you this because there are two main topics that I'm planning on featuring here today. That being Biden's version of Easter, which is basically to say that this is Transgender Visibility Day. And then there's the second story relating to the viral TikToker, who was arrested. This was a migrant who was bragging about squatting in homes here in America and taking advantage of American law in order to squat and attain some sort of rights in these homes, and went viral on TikTok for basically screaming about how Americans are suckers, and created a great deal of outrage, obviously. And he was arrested on Friday. So those are the two main topics that I plan on exploring in greater detail. And I'm thinking that this feels like a good show to sort of hear from you. But some people like calling shows, some people don't. So I let you guys decide. I put up I will tell you this. I put up a poll in YouTube, no polling capacity in the Rumble Ghetto. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, if you want this to be a call-in show in the Rumble, you in the Rumble Ghetto. Yeah, you guys. If you want this to be a call-in show, give me a 1. If you want me to do like a more regular show, give me a 2. I'll try and get some sort of flavor. So 1 for call-in, 2 for heck no. 42 is not an option. Let me see how my poll is going over here, because I'm very torn. Very, very torn. While you guys are throwing out your numbers there and doing your voting, I do need to call attention. Certain attention has to be called. First and foremost, CA Human becoming a YouTube member. And as well as Skeeter becoming a YouTube member. And then CA Human, God bless you. God bless you, CA Human. Oh my God, Kathy. Thank you so much. She gave 5 and then 10 and then another 10 for 25 Good Lawgic memberships. I'm going to give you a double horn. I'm giving you a double horn for that. Oh my God. That's the first one. And we'll give you a second one as well. The following 25 people. I'm going to have to read off 25 names now. I got to do it. 25 people gifted memberships. I'm going to try and do my best to make sure I get all of them. But if I miss some of you, you all owe a big debt of gratitude to CA Human. So we got the following people have been gifted memberships: KRM944, Eric K, Michelle Lesser, Mystery Sniper, Glenn Sadlock. They were the first 5. Then we had Lady Law, Sandra, Sheldon Hall, Danny, Dagner D, Frazzle says, Michelle Cheapo, Live, Laugh, Bark. Could be Live, Laugh, Bark if you think about it. It really could be, but it's probably Live, Laugh, Bark. Seeing as how there's a dog there on the, well, whatever. Leslie Sorensen, Nana 1776, a series of bats who's been here for ages. A series of bats. Another person gifted memberships by CA Human. And then there was Mel B, Wendy G, Susan Rainey, Riven Cap, Sunny Idaho, Garrett Pace, MG's Crochet Hook, Scott Dove, Julie Mumford, and Tam Tam. All of you gifted memberships courtesy of C.A. Human, one more horn for that, because that was just craziness. Those of you who just became members of the following, some of you, I think it's probably your debut. You've never been a follower before. You're like, I don't even know what comes with that. And did I just join? Did I just get signed up in a cult? I didn't know I was signing up into a cult. And the answer to that question is, heck no. Heck no. It's not a cult. It's not at all a cult type of cult. Not at all. Not at all. It's crazy to even think that it's any sort of cult type of cult. It's not. It's not at all. There's no self-harm, no harming others, no Kool-Aid, no spaceships, no tracksuits, no mandatory tracksuits. There's recommended tracksuits, not mandatory tracksuits. No squirrel mutilations, no goat sacrifices, no sacrificing virgins, no dancing around bonfires while throwing off clothing. It's not at all a cult type of cult. It's not. It's just not. It's just called The Following. The Following is about greater unity, community, and personal growth. I am not the leader of The Following. No. A lot of people make that mistake. I'm a host. Okay. I'm not the host of hosts. I'm a pretty inadequate host, but I am a host. I'm a host of The Following. But definitely not. It's a common mistake a lot of people make. Common mistake about Joe's no. Just wipe it from your head. Anyhow, let's get into its very close vote. It's very close vote here. It's 56-44 in YouTube land, and in the ghetto, they're definitely leaning against it. I don't know what 42 is supposed to. Dom Mannon is spamming with 42. I'd take 42 as a 1. Oh, okay. So I'm basically, you're all saying you didn't get to hear the horn. I know why that is. That's true. You didn't get to hear the horn because I didn't share my screen. So why would you hear I'm the only one who heard it 3 times. Yeah. So I'm going to have to hear it 3 more times now. Yeah. So basically, there you go. This is for you. And there you go. God bless you. That is the horn. Those of you who were gifted by C.A. Human. God bless you again. Oh, what's that? Another one. Okay. And Aaron Hack, 9 months. What does it take for a new tracksuit? Mine is a bit dirty and throwing a shovel. Yeah, so all you diggers out there, it's very, very exciting. Very, very exciting. Perfect thumbnail. Thank you very much. Thank you. Little picture there of Biden hanging more Transgender Visibility Day signs. I have a lot of thoughts on this. I have a lot of thoughts on this. And the left is trying to be very defensive. Very defensive, even though I know I'm not Jesus. I'm still above ground. That's true. Happy Transgender Day. Thank you so much. Driver's seat. I appreciate that. I appreciate the validation. Thank you. Thank you so very, very much. If we call in, could be playback? No, it's not. That's not what's going to be. That's not what's. Oh my gosh. Was this another friggin' you animal? 10 more names I gotta call out. God bless you, Kathy. You're awesome. Where is that? Who else just made it? Who else just made the cut? 10 more. The newest 10 are Chadwick Myers, Kenya from Cali. Melissa Kendall, Distracted C, Phoenix, Joel Sane, The Rooster, Michelle Kramer, Rudy Toot, Caldy, all of you gifted memberships, and you get a membership, and you get a membership. God bless you. You're awesome. You're awesome. All right. So I'm seeing like a lean on YouTube toward it. I think it's really 50-50. It's like if you count in Rumble, which Rumble's like, no, call-ins, God, for the love of God. It's like one person in Rumble is like, yeah, let's do a call-in. And like everyone else is like, no, kill that guy who said call. I feel so bad for that guy in the Rumble ghetto who put a 1 out there. He was like the first one. He's like, yeah, 1. And like everyone else, no. Real Patriots Party is being killed by the rest of the audience there. He's going to be harassed forever. Poor RPP. You put a 1 in the chat. What were you thinking, RPP? Didn't you realize the Rumble Ghetto does not like call-in shows? They do not like the call-in shows. Heifer sacrificed during an eclipse for our... It's funny, we were talking about the heifer a lot over the Sabbath, the red heifer. Should have done it for March 18th, which was Ramadan. Oh, but I think Ramadan is 40 days. So we're smack in the middle. Sent me a Twitter DM. Did you? You sent me a Twitter DM. What do you got for me? What do you got for me? What's true you got for me? Did I forget to post this to Twitter? I don't know if I posted it to Twitter. I don't think I did. I don't think I posted. Normally I post to Twitter, and I think I forgot. We saw this on community notes. Yeah, that's what I was going to go there. Yeah, that's exactly what I was planning on covering that, what the left would say. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. So the left is trying to defend this. Well, let's talk about what Biden has done. Let's talk about this. Let's talk a little bit about this. So we'll pull this story up here from Newsweek's perspective, which is going to be fair and balanced. President Joe Biden sparked fury amongst conservatives on social media on Saturday after he proclaimed Sunday, March 31st, which happens to be the day Easter falls on this year, Transgender Day of Visibility. The International Transgender Day of Visibility was created on March 31st, 2009. So it's got a long tradition in this country. It goes all the way back to 2009 and has continued to be celebrated every March 31st for more than a decade by like 9 people. The day is meant to not only honor transgender people, but raise awareness of the discrimination they continue to face. Easter usually falls between March 22nd, April 25th every year. They had the audacity to host Easter this year on March 31st. What were they thinking? Having the audacity to do that on the high holy day of Transgender Visibility Day. On Friday, the holiday is celebrated on the first Sunday after the full moon or on following the spring equinox. Oh, yeah, so there's that. Right. So that goes back a little bit before 2009. Just a teensy bit before 2009. That whole when they're going to celebrate Easter thing. It's kind of been going on for, I don't know, probably close to a couple of thousand years. Something like that. Not a full 2,000 because, well, if you think about he was 33 when he was. I think they say Jesus lived 33 years, but yeah, still, it's been a while. It's been happening for a while now. Not really a shock that occasionally it may fall out on March 31st. So they picked March 31st because that's a very key day in the transgender movement. That's the day that there's transgender visibility. The rest of the year, there's zero transgender visibility. So obviously you need to find the one day, March 31st. That's the key day right there. In the announcement, Biden wrote, quote, "Today we send a message to all transgender Americans. You're loved. You are heard. You belong. You are America. And my entire administration and I have your back." Now, Biden is also famous for banning any sort of religious symbology in his White House, the annual White House Easter egg hunt. No religion there. But the religion of trans, that's strong in the Biden administration. Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump's National Press Secretary, Caroline Leavitt, called it, quote, "appalling and insulting" that Biden formally proclaimed Easter Sunday as Trans Day of Visibility. In a statement on Saturday, Leavitt said the president's announcement is an example of his administration's years-long assault on the Christian faith. Quote, "We call on Joe Biden's failing campaign in White House to issue an apology to the millions of Catholics and Christians across America who believe tomorrow is for one celebration only, the resurrection of Jesus Christ," she added. Journalist Aaron Rupar fought back against Trump's statement, writing on X, formerly Twitter, quote, "cloaking yourself in Christianity." Sorry, I should say it in his voice. "Cloaking yourself in Christianity to spread bigotry and attack marginalized communities is some twisted S***. Trump's eldest son, Donald Trump Jr., wrote on X, "This is the left's new religion. They want people worshiping the trans flag instead of God. They must be stopped." The Biden White House has betrayed the central tenet of Easter, which is the resurrection of Jesus Christ. House Speaker Mike Johnson, a Louisiana Republican, posted, quote, "banning sacred truth and tradition, while at the same time proclaiming Easter Sunday as Transgender Day is outrageous and abhorrent. The American people are taking note." In response to the criticism, White House Deputy Press Secretary Andrew Bates told Newsweek by email on Saturday afternoon, "As a Christian who celebrates Easter with family, President Biden stands for bringing people together and upholding the dignity and freedoms of every American. Sadly, it is unsurprising politicians are seeking to divide and weaken our country with cruel, hateful, and dishonest rhetoric. President Biden will never abuse his faith for political purposes or for profit." Yes, he did! That's exactly what this is! That's what this is! He's supposed to be a Catholic! That's exactly what this is! That's exactly, how could there be anything? Look, okay, you all know. Okay, look, you all know I'm Jewish. Okay, no, we don't celebrate Easter. It's not part of our deal. Okay, at the same time, I can recognize that for tens of millions of Americans, this is the holiest day. I get it, and the whole point is to be celebrating Christianity on the day that, tens of millions of people consider the holiest day of the year, and you need to go out there and make your stupid pitch to the wokest, craziest, most enabled portion of our demographic and say they're insufficiently visible. There's like less than like what? Like 0.5% of 1% of people are trans. So you basically need to go out and basically say that we don't stop talking about them already. Like, hey, you can't go two full news cycles without having something about trans in the news. For this tiny demographic of America are constantly in the news. That's insufficiently visible. They need more visibility, far more visibility, because it has to be in your face all the time. And you might have forgotten about trans people for 6 seconds. So let's make sure that on Easter, we remind you about the trans community because they're too invisible. It's like, what the hell are you? Like, how stupid. Like, it's just, how can this not be purposefully designed to piss you off? It pisses me off. I'm not even Christian, and it pisses me off because it's just so friggin' disrespectful. I mean, like, why do you have to be such a jerk to say this religion is so much more important than the religion celebrated by hundreds of millions of people across the globe? Like how gross can you be? I don't care that they decided 12 years ago to invent some stupid day that we want to honor and remember. And this is the other thing. I mean, the flags. I mean, just the constant thing with the flags. This is where the flags play in, because I want to explain something to you. And I started talking about this the other day, and I'm going to go a little deeper on it now because Biden was so stupid as to basically say that he's going to proclaim Easter as being Transgender Visibility Day. Okay, let me explain something to you. A flag is a statement of this is who we are as our very core. I'm draping this across our scenery, draping this across our homes, draping this across our capitals and our government buildings, that this is who we are. We have stars and stripes, this beautiful flag right here, stars and stripes that are basically saying this is who we are. We are Americans. That's why countries, which especially the more nationalistic they are, they're proudly waving their flags around to say this is who we are. Whether it's not just in America, this is across the globe, and this is the way it's been for millennia. You raise your banner of your flag of this is what we are. it's a pronouncement of this is what we are. There's no flag for Second Amendment. You can say don't tread on me. There's no flag for right to life. There's no flag for any of these things, nor should there be, because that's one topic. It's one thing. There's no flag for black people, for white people, for Asian people. There's no flag for any rights. Thank God there's no flag for feminism, at least no one's ever heard of. But flying above our Capitol and the UN and all over, it's got to be trans this, rainbow that, all over the place, because this has to be the definition of what we are. It is a religion. It's a secular religion. There's a flag for science. Like, how stupid is this? And by doing that, by driving this point over and over and over again, it becomes completely natural to say, well, of course, we have to celebrate transgenderism on March 31st, irrespective of the fact that to tens of millions of Americans, this is the holiest day of the year, and that they consider transgenderism at its core to be an abomination. I mean, completely perverse twisting of God's message about creating man and creating woman as separate. And no, you don't just because you decide to wake up one day and or hack off various parts of your body or inject chemicals into your body, that all of a sudden that you have that actually has any meaning in the eyes of God. And yet you take the holiest, what tens of millions of people consider to be the holiest day of the year, and say, meh, in your face. This is the day that we're going to talk, make sure that transgenderism is as visible as possible. Put up our stupid flags with our pastel colors, which in case you missed it, it happens to be very Easter type of colors that they chose for the transgender flag. Just to remind you the religious symbology behind transgenderism, I don't think they randomly chose those shades of blue and pink, because those are your classic Easter egg colors right there. The blue and red that they chose there. And it's now we're going to replace your religion with our new religion, which is transgenderism. I mean, it's just astonishing that how just completely overt this effort to basically subvert anything that was foundational in our country as being good and wholesome or productive or foundational, and wipe all that away in order to basically celebrate whatever the newest, stupidest people on the block come up with. There's, you know what? There's no flag for Christianity. Not really. And there shouldn't be. But if there was going to be a flag for something, I can understand there being a Christian flag. At least people say, that's who I am. That would make more sense. A lot more sense. What I mean, it's like, so just why? Why? And I'm telling you, the answer is in the flags. It's because it's a concerted effort to tell you this is what you have to be about, because it's not Transgenderism Day. And this is what I want to point out to you. They didn't call it Transgender Day. No, they could have done that. They could have called Transgender Day. But I want you to consider they called it Transgender Day of Visibility. They did not call it Transgender Day, which that would be celebrating transgenders. No. This is Transgender Day of Visibility. This is the day that you are being directed to see, to have them be visible as possible, and that you should recognize and validate their perspectives on transgenderism as being a healthy, natural, normal direction for a human to take. Because they could have just said, look, transgender people should be treated no differently than anyone else. And I'm going to tell you something. My personal feelings are this when it comes to transgenderism. And I know that I've been put on lists as being hostile to the trans community. My personal perspective is, if dude's an adult or woman's an adult and they decide they want to cut off their knickers and bits and do whatever the heck they want to do to their body, I think that society should help them. I think that they're really, really troubled people, and they're not going to be satisfied with what they're doing. Because by definition, when you have to change your body, you're basically saying that means that this other body is not what I am. So the whole point of it is so ridiculously stupid and flawed. And I think society enabling them is dangerous and harmful to them more than anyone else. Not harmful to me. It's not affecting me. It's not having any impact on me. But if someone has their brain been so affected that they feel that this is how they need to remedy their life, and society wants to continue going on this dangerous path of enabling them and walking them down that road and encouraging them and saying, oh, you're so beautiful, when everyone knows, no, it's just not true. In fact, most of transgenderism, most of it is the shock value of, oh, here's a dude with a beard wearing a dress, trying to get attention by the fact that there's a dude with a beard wearing a dress. But if that's what some dude wants to do, he's a grown adult, all right, that's his choice. That's his call. That's okay. It's only when they start affecting children that it gets me all irate. That's what gets me angry. And they start trying to convince children, most of whom, whether or not they've ever popped up an erection in their lives, but like you're all of a sudden you're born the wrong gender before they even understand what the hell sex is. And we're going to teach them that you're born in the wrong body. Start thinking along that stupid line. That's when I get really outraged. But if you're talking about adults, you talk about Bruce Jenner deciding that he's going to start undergoing, I don't know, hyperplasty and all these other different things and slapping on this and slapping on that. And then you want to throw them on the cover of Time and say Women of the Year and whatever stupidity you want to do and herald all that and all the sick pageantry that they make about this. I'm like, look, I think it's offensive to women. I can understand women being ticked off. It's not like I look at that woman who's a famous actress who basically went trans, became a man. What's her name? The famous one. She was in the Umbrella Academy. You all know who I'm talking about. I don't know, whatever. But it's like I'm never gonna look at her as being a dude. But the point is, the reason it's Transgender Visibility Day is that it's is to say they must be visible to you. I thought the whole point of being trans is that you're actually blending and passing as whatever your new gender is. So why would you want them to be visible? How is that even helping trans people? The whole point is supposed to be that everyone recognizes that this is now, this person who was born a man is now a woman. So why would you want to call attention to that? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. No, their transgenderism has to be visible to you, and you have to sit there with your stupid Sig Heil, whatever it is, and salute them as like, oh, here comes the flag. Here they come marching down the street, saying do-wah-diddy, and we got to raise and bend the knee and say, oh, this is so wonderful, so stunning, so brave, so phenomenal, so excellent. This is the greatest development society has ever had before. Like I said, if someone wants to do it, by all means, he should have the legal right to do so, I guess. I mean, we stop assisted self-deletion, so you can make a moral argument against it. But if society wants to say that this is what we're going to permit people to do, okay, by all means, go ahead. It's not affecting you. It's not affecting me. So, unfortunately, a lot of people have serious psychological and emotional issues, and this is how it ends up manifesting. Other people have other serious psychological emotional issues. We don't sit here freaking out about it. So some adult has this issue, and they want to pretend that they're changing their gender, and society wants, and people want to go along with it, and that's what they're doing to themselves. Are they adults? Okay, let them do it. But why? So why does it have to be visible? The reason it has to be visible is to basically say, no. It's not enough that they're doing it. That's not enough. It's not enough that they're coming out in public and everyone should be able to see that this is a person who was gender A and is now purportedly gender B. No, you have to agree that they are now gender B. You have to go along with it. They're going to be visible, and you're going to sit there and say, wow, that is stunning. That is brave. That is a successful transition from this gender to that gender. And I totally recognize and accept that they are no longer their born gender and that they are now their new gender. That's why it's not just Transgender Day. Transgender Visibility Day is not for transgender people. It is for you and for me to tell us we must see them and accept them and embrace them and completely validate and recognize their psychosis that this is actually a successful transition from one gender to another. That's why it's not Transgender Day. That's why it's Transgender Visibility Day. And to do that and to declare that, for Biden to declare that on a day that tens of millions of Christians recognize as being the most holy day of the year, and that their faith basically says, this is crap. This is stupid. This is an abomination. No. This is the day you're forced to bend the knee if you're going to be accepted in broader society. If you're going to be recognized that you're a genuinely good person, you're one of the good ones, you're an ally. If you're going to be recognized as that, you need to bend, you have to basically sacrifice your religion, spit on your own religion, and embrace this brand new religion that just showed up in 2009, starting on March 31st, 2009, because someone in Michigan decided to wake up and said, oh, let's make it Transgender Visibility Day. And that if you don't go along with it, there's something wrong with you. You're on the outside. You're the bad person. And that's when it's particularly, it's purposefully divisive. It's designed to basically say you must go along, otherwise you are otherized. That's my thoughts on it. Just celebrating transition of spring to summer. The Trans Day is not as bad as restricting contest to no religion. Are you talking about the egg hunt? I mean, look, I'll defer to you. I'll defer to you on that. Because which part of it is more offensive? I think it's an interesting question. The fact that he's making a statement that this is Trans Visibility Day, or that he's abolishing religious symbology at the White House egg hunt. I'd be curious to hear from people's takes on that. Should have been April. Yeah, that's true. Till transgenders are visibility challenged. Yeah. You're Jew. Shut up. 2 words, Bud Light, Brandon, get a clue. Yeah, June is coming, so is Pride. But they're not visible. Totally invisible. Totally. I didn't even know there were trans people. Easter, when zombie Jesus emerges, the Easter bunny hides eggs, and the elusive trans population has a second coming out because, surprise, he has risen. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe Trump campaign should put up a TV ad. Joe Biden cancel Easter. I'm Donald Trump and I approve this message. Ride this to victory in November. He's already planning on riding it to some degree. I don't know that people will still be so outraged, maybe, about Easter 6 months after Easter. That's the question. Appreciate a perspective from a Jewish man. Yeah, you're welcome, Wesley. Well, Jesus was transformed from dead to a... Okay. Visibility is the opposite of passing. That's my whole point. That's my whole point. It's so ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. There is a Christian flag? I didn't know that. Christian school kids place both American and Christian. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. To me, that makes more sense because I can understand saying this is a definition of for Christians to say that this is a definition of who we are. I get that. That would make sense to me. First the rainbow, then Easter colors. Next move will be usurpation of Christmas green and red. Can't imagine what that flag is going to represent. No, Joe. Missed the point, Joe. Transgender is not to blend, but to stay out so they feel important. It's a cry out. So you're saying it's purposeful. Even Caitlyn Jenner put out a statement saying this is awful. Awful. And that's the other thing about Biden doing this. It's almost like he's trying to use, like he's putting the trans community in the crosshairs of Christians by doing this. It's so not beneficial to the trans community. It's not. The same way when Jonathan Greenblatt goes up there and does his stupid cancel anyone who uses the word Jew in a way I don't like, where I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? You're making people hate Jews. I think that Biden is making making people hate trans people. Like, why are you doing this? It's like just completely moronic. But it's his way of making his statement to the woke. This is not merely about the trans. The reason he's doing this is to basically make his statement to the young kids who are angry at him for the position that he wasn't forceful enough with Israel, that he basically wants to make a point to them that I'm with you. I'm your guy. So all of you who are sitting there all celebrating trans who are not trans yourself will recognize that I'm your guy. That's what this is. That's ultimately what this is. Buddy Cash says, happy Tranny Day, Joe. Let us celebrate with some Cadbury gesture eggs and chocolate bonus holiday for the progressive family. That's disturbing, brother. The biggest difference between Easter and Trans Viz Day is where they hide the... Family show. I keep telling you, Barracuda. Family show. As a Jew, we like Santa removed from schools. Mark Dice said some Jews are fighting for that. It's ridiculous. Why? Why would anyone want Santa removed from schools? Why would anyone want that? That's the stupidest thing. It's like, what the hell's wrong with you? It's the stupidest thing. And frankly, I think Mark Dice has some issues with Jews in general. I'm not saying that he's I'm not labeling him anti-Semitic. I wouldn't label him anti-Semitic. He falls into a category which I never really talked about, which is I don't think he hates Jews. He's just totally okay with people who do hate Jews. It's a different thing. It's like, I don't think he hates Jews, but I think he's totally fine with people who do. So you can call him like adjacent kind of thing. That's where he strikes me. Smart guy, funny guy. Most of his messaging, I'm like, yeah, I get. I like a lot of what he says. And sometimes he says stuff, and I'm like, he seems to be really adjacent there. That's my personal take on him. But I can understand why a lot of people who watch me would enjoy Mark Dice. I get it. And he's definitely a very smart, very funny guy. Imagine they tried doing this on Islam Holy Day. Yeah, imagine that. Seriously, if on Ramadan, he'd be like, Happy Trans Day. That would never happen. Went to Christian school and there was no Christian flag in the 90s. So you're disagreeing with SoCal who said there is a Christian flag. I don't know. I've never been to a Christian school, so I don't know. Ooh, they're targeting kids again. What does that mean? Who? I do try not to be explicit. Sorry if I missed that. You're fine. You're fine. I'm just busting you. I'm busting your eggs. All right. So, and I also have Breck Nichols saying, Joe, don't forget transgenders built this country. You're funny, Breck. You're funny. I did forget. I forgot to appreciate what they've done to build this country. They built this country. All right, I'm getting mostly yeses here. I'm at 57% yes. So, I'd like your take on this topic. As long as you worship the government, doesn't matter what you believe. Worship the cult and eat the bugs. I don't know. Apparently, when Greta heard what Joe Biden did, her reaction was,
How dare you?
That's my repertoire. I was like, man, I really need that clip.
How dare you?
She's not happy about what Biden did. All right. So there's that. I'm also going to go in depth with my thoughts about this, the illegal alien who went viral on TikTok. Just to give you a little clip of this guy. I am going to open up the phone line soon. It's this guy.
existe una
This is the guy who was arrested.
Existe una ley que dice que si una casa no está habitada, podemos expropiarla. Capichi, muchachos, aquí en United States también se aplica la de invasión de terreno. Y creo que ese será mi próximo negocio. Invadir casas abandonadas.
His next business is invading abandoned houses.
Ya que me he buscado unos códigos con mis amigos africanos y me dijeron que ya llevan como 7 casas expropiadas. Y como dice el dicho, papi, hay que buscar la vuelta. Y la vuelta ahorita mismo es invadir casas, ya que nos encontramos en situación de calle y es la única manera que tenemos para no vivir en la.
Anyway, so that was part of his message there.
Little cheddar's askew.
We don't need Brooklyn Nine-Nine right now. Here's a little more of this guy in a different clip that I found.
Sé que a ustedes no les duele mi contenido, les duele es que yo facture más que ustedes sin necesidad de andar como esclavos. ¿Capichi? Esa es la diferencia tuya y mía. Que yo siempre voy a hacer dinero.
The utter arrogance of this guy.
Sin mucho trabajo. Y tú un explotado. Un miserable. ¿Sí me entiendes? Un poquitico. Yo siempre seré más que tú. Capichi, métete eso en la cabeza. Que no somos iguales. Mira. Lo que a ti te cuesta reunir $15,000 en 200 años, yo lo hago en par de meses. Capichi?
This is like the perfect formula to become a social media star, right?
Anyhow, I don't need that guy there, but yeah, so that's the guy who was arrested. And Lionel Moreno, the migrant influencer who mocked America, has been arrested by ICE, according to sources. This was on Friday. Illegal migrant influencer Lionel Moreno, who mocked America on social media in several viral videos, has been nabbed by federal immigration authorities. Immigration and Customs Enforcement fugitive operations officers arrested Moreno in Columbus, Ohio on Friday, and he's currently being held at Guega County Jail, according to ICE records. The arrest comes after the Post exclusively reported how Moreno had skipped out on ICE soon after crossing the southern border into Texas illegally in 2022 and was now wanted by authorities. In a statement to Post, the ICE spokesperson said Lionel Moreno is an unlawfully present citizen of Venezuela who illegally entered the country April 23, 2022. Moreno was placed into the Alternatives to Detention program by Border Patrol and told to report to Enforcement Removal Operations Office within 60 days of arriving at his destination. Moreno did not report as required. On March 29, 2024, Moreno was arrested in Gahanna, Ohio, by officers with ERO Detroit's Columbus office and is currently detained pending further immigration proceedings. While in the U.S., Moreno used his various social media channels to encourage other migrants to invade the country and squat the homes of American citizens, all while waving around wads of cash and flaunting what he said were government handouts. Thank you, President Biden. In one video, Moreno could be seen holding a Social Security card. He also frequently boasted of his earnings made from begging for cash. I didn't cross the Rio Grande to work like a slave, Moreno said in one Instagram clip. I came to the U.S. to mark my territory. You're hurt because I make more than you without much work while you work like slaves. Understand? Moreno said in another social media post. That's the difference between you and me. I'm always going to make lots of money without much work, and you're going to be exploited and miserable and insignificant. TikTok recently shut down Moreno's account, which had roughly 500,000 followers. His Instagram, which was still active Friday, has more than 17,000 followers. On his ban from TikTok, Moreno said, yes, they closed my TikTok account, but I keep earning on Facebook and Instagram. I won't earn the same, but I'm going to get my TikTok account back. I'm going to keep earning money. When he was released in the U.S. after crossing the border illegally. Moreno was enrolled in the Alternatives Detention Program, where he was monitored by a tracking device. But soon after his release, Moreno stopped complying and failed to show for check-in with authorities until ICE records reviewed the post showed. So there you go. So those are the two topics which I'm going to be taking call-ins on. I haven't done call-in show in a long time. I think it's time. Call-in number. The call-in number. I'll put it here shortly. Well, you know what? I'm going to put it first in my locals chat. For you locals folks. Because there's a nice healthy chat going on in locals. Call into show. I'll put it there first. I want to start going through this. Where were we? Don Force says there was concern in 1960 that JFK would put his Catholic faith ahead of his nation. 64 years later, perhaps RFK Jr. could run campaign ads against Joe. May the best Catholic win. Yeah, that'd be pretty good. That'd be pretty good. I like it. We can't, and it's true. People forget how there was a question whether he could possibly win because his Catholicism would be held against him. We can't have criminal aliens saying the quiet part out loud. That's a big no-no. Yeah, that is a big no-no. We all knew he was arrested only because he exposed Biden. If he shut up, ICE would never find him. That's why. Squatting squashes property values on purpose. I was having a long conversation this weekend. I have a funny story to share with you, by the way. I have a funny story to share with you about my 9-year-old and her project where she's covering the life of Harriet Tubman and supposed to do a presentation dressed as Harriet Tubman. And this is a pretty funny story. As soon as I was listening to this, I was like, no, I need more details. I need more. Tell me more. What else happened? Then what happened? Then because I was like, I need to know everything about this. And her comments, her thoughts on the topic were friggin' hilarious. Friggin' hilarious. She's asleep. and my other daughter, the one who's recently married, she's here this weekend, and she's like, "Oh, this is totally going in a show." And I was like, "Oh yeah, tomorrow." I can't keep this under wraps for 48 hours. No, tomorrow, this is going. First thing I was like, I'm gonna even put a picture of her like face morphed together with Harriet Tubman as my thumbnail. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Oh my god. My daughter is Harriet Tubman. Very, very exciting. Very, very exciting. Anyway, so all right. I'm going to put it here for you guys to call in. If you want to call in, 972-454-0703 is the number. 972-454-0703. I put it up there for both YouTube and Rumble. So you can call from either side of the ghetto, either side, either in or out of the ghetto. And I'll even pin it where I can because I can only pin it so many places. Why don't I see it here? Oh, it's loading slowly over here. That's why. It's still loading. No. I'm going to pin it in a moment. I'm still 2 minutes behind in my chat when I came over here. I'll probably drop the story later. There we go. Oh, message is pinned. Oh, I should probably. Yeah, people are probably calling. I'm going to call this number back because this is someone from. I don't know who this was. I'm calling someone back. Why don't I? You guys can hear this, right? I assume you can hear this. Hello? Hello?
It's RPP from the ghetto.
RPP! How are you?
Oh, not too bad, my man. How are you?
Are they harassing you for saying you wanted a call-in show and you were the only one in the ghetto who wanted one?
You know, buddy, I have no idea. I had to leave the chat, and when you said that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to be his first caller.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
What I did was I ran over on YouTube and voted yes.
That's great. That's great.
I had to.
So, what are your thoughts? Our two topics. You can pick either one or both. You can talk about the immigrant on, or you could talk about transgender on Easter. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'll do the transgender one first because that's the one that I think is the most absurd and the most hurtful.
Mm-hmm.
I just, like you mentioned, this crap coming out all the way back to 2009. This stuff being in our face all the time, and nobody likes it. This is fringe nonsense, and now we got a White House that's going to make statements like this and try to shine a spotlight on people. Like you said, I thought you're supposed to be passing, fitting in, or whatever the hell it is.
Mm-hmm.
But no, here, I'm this demented, degenerate, celebrate me. What messages, what's the purpose behind it if it's not demonic?
So when you say demonic, what do you mean? Like it's designed to try and make people I mean, I do think it's designed to make people try and emulate, right?
The reason I say demonic, I'll be specific about that.
Mm-hmm.
You take, I don't care if it's the Torah, if it's the Bible, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take the writings, the learned scripture, the stories, the history, the culture. You have to take that and say, okay, dismiss all that, turn your back on it, but not only that, spit on it.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Reject it altogether.
That right there is my check mark. Yeah, I got one check box. That's it. Okay, that's demonic.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Totally agree with you on that. I think it's also to like basically it is the reason it's visibility is by it's a way of parading in a way that's designed to allure our youth. It's that's part of it.
I agree.
That they just
I agree.
they want the youth to be like, oh wow, I can be celebrated if I embrace that perspective, and I definitely have to agree with it, and maybe I am trans also. Maybe I was born in the wrong body. It's
there you go. Focus on that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Focus right there.
Mm-hmm.
You touched on it. There's the foolproof right now, the demonic aspect, because what does it do? It tells the youth that this is the truth.
Mm-hmm. Precisely. Yes.
And you can't take someone who's never been to Bible school or anywhere and say, oh, here's this. What you're going to convert them when they're 25 into reality?
Yeah. No. The idea is let's catch them young. Let's catch them young. That's what it's totally about.
I don't want to stay on this for Easter. So let's go to the home invasion expert.
Yeah, go for it. The home invasion expert.
About the only thing I have to say about this guy is they're gonna let him go. They're gonna wipe this up, and nothing's gonna come of this.
Nothing
at all.
See, I don't know if I agree with you on that.
He's gonna slip through the cracks. You're not gonna hear about him in a week.
I don't know. That went pretty viral, and
I know, but
a lot of people are focusing on
monkeypox. The next monkeypox, buddy. I'm talking a week.
So you're saying
the next monkeypox.
You're saying we'll just forget about him? don't know.
No,
Maybe.
it won't, but we'll be distracted from it, and they're not going to talk about it in the media. So
True. I mean, look, but I'm not sure because the argument against it, the other argument is that he is the legion, Lesion. He's a legion on Biden's immigration policy.
Right.
So if they try to bury it and they don't make an example out of him, he's someone that Trump is going to basically be running his face on ads all over the place. This guy's still here on your time.
Yeah, but the White House is going to make an example out of him by statement. They're going to publish a statement on a Friday.
We'll see. But I'm telling you I think they have to be sufficiently aware. The one thing they try to have their finger on the pulse on is like what public opinion is, so that they can try and retain power. That's what the left tries to do. They every time they come out with new policy or new thoughts at all, they always do a market research on it first. And I think that it's possible that they have concerns that Trump will be able to easily use him as the face of Biden's foreign immigration policy, and they know that policy has been killing them. So,
well, let's test your theory for a second.
Okay.
I have a question. Two characters.
Mm-hmm.
Are they talking about Dylan Mulvaney? Are they talking about the Boeing whistleblower?
Right. Okay. So
those names are gone, and so will this guy's.
It's an interesting thought. Dylan Mulvaney, people still talk about. I mean, that lasted several news cycles. He was in the news for a long time because of that. But yeah, I don't know.
I guess we'll have to test it.
It's an interesting question. I'm curious to see how this plays out. But
we'll have to test it in a week.
Yeah.
So.
All right, my brother. Thank you so much for the call. Appreciate you.
Let me have one more second with you.
Sure.
Just a message to the ghetto.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm sorry, but I got the message that you were dissing me. So here's your call in. Hello, diggers. Hello, ghetto. That's for you guys. The last thing I want to say is, Joe, I want you to call me back after the show. You got my number. Call me back. Give me the address of your favorite bagel shop so I can send you this gift from the ghetto.
You're awesome. Thank you, brother. Thank you so very much. You're awesome.
All right, buddy.
Take care. Have a good night, my friend.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, so that was Real Patriot Party right there. He's great. Okay, so you got the number there. I should turn off my Do Not Disturb so I'm receiving calls and get calls in, because otherwise that's not going to work. But let's see what we got going on here. That popped up here while he was on the phone. There you got that. Wish to show love our cult. I love our Joe, our cult leader, who brainwashed us to resist. You can't. This is my second account. By the way, shout out to the diggers.
Call from
the Buddy Cashes.
All right, that's one I Do Not Disturb. Already someone else called in.
Wait, did I make it in, Joe?
Oh, you made it in.
Oh, excellent.
You made it in. How are you?
You're like 10 seconds behind, so I heard all of this before reaching onto the stream. But
well done.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I wanted to talk about something real fast. I don't know if we moved on or not.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy, I don't know his name. The one who was doing the you know, we need to squat America.
Yeah, that's Leno Moreno, the one who was arrested.
Yeah. So interesting, funny thing about this guy, if you dig in a little deeper, the cash is flashing. He's making, and I haven't looked at these numbers in a few days. It was like $350 per person and his family, and so he's got like his wife, his kid, and himself, and that's per week. So and $350 below estimate because I haven't looked at these numbers in a few days. So he's pulling more than any single person on welfare pulls in a month, and that's not accounting other benefits they're sneaking in. So. I mean, the reality is they're flooding criminal aliens with a vast amount of cash.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you look in New York, they were complaining about the lack of pocket cash. And then you know, Eric Adams turns around and he introduces the credit card for consumables, and they have to sign an agreement that says they're not going to spend it on anything but like food. You know, and that'd be amazing if I could sign an agreement that says I will be giving a gift card that says I'll only spend that on food, I promise. So they literally gave them pocket money.
It's unbelievable.
After they whined about it, and they're in free hotels, and they're getting free meals a day, and they're also getting, you know, money from the government like this guy. So I'm not surprised that he's flashing.
Of course he's flashing. Of course he's flashing.
What did he have? Like $10, $20, $100 bills?
Yep. That was all hundreds.
And that was probably a week. That's how much we're wasting. And so we're surprised when inflation, you know, the money printers go burr.
I'll explain to you the way the squatting works. Okay. So if you squat,
I'm quite familiar, but we should talk about it for the audience.
Yeah. So if you squat somewhere for 30 days, depending on the jurisdiction you're in. So, and I was trying to explain this to my kids. I mean, so why would you squat in multiple houses? Well, you attain certain rights that if you don't get the property, it doesn't become yours. It just takes months of litigation to get them out. And what you can do basically, if you're immoral, is you can squat somewhere, take possession for 30 days of a vacant house. It'll take months to get rid of you. And you can actually probably sell your rights to be there to someone else.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
I mean, why would you not be able to sell whatever rights you attain through your squatting, and then you could sell that for a couple of $1,000s to someone, and you do that in multiple houses, you can make a living just being a friggin'
absolutely
disgusting squatter.
I mean, yeah, if you're absolutely degenerate, you could sublease. Because I think here in Washington, they still have some of these COVID era restrictions on eviction. And DeSantis, they're starting to address it in Florida. You know, not a surprise that, you know, they're starting to kill squatters' rights in Florida, but a lot of other places, especially blue places, squatters' rights are you're better off burning the place down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hopefully while they're inside. I'm kidding, folks, but no, you're better off, you know, you can't even sell it because the banks will actually check to see if there's squatters there because they know what they're going to get in that whole deal.
Yep.
But yeah, turning everyone onto, hey, folks, there's a lot of illegal aliens here and you can make a lot of money squatting, you know, that's what triggered him getting deported finally.
What banks do when they have a home that's in foreclosure and it's been and while they're waiting to after they foreclose on a house and they have possession of it and before they manage to flip it over, they actually pay companies to maintain the house because a house can't be sitting idle. So
yes, there's laws in the books and a lot of counties too, like mine, that say that the home has to be occupied while you have a mortgage.
The point I was getting at is I heard of I know this guy who started a company which he basically services for banks that have foreclosed, that they go to their homes and basically turn the lights on and off, flush the toilets, and everything they do they charge for. He said he literally gets paid like $300 to flush toilets. Like he's like flush, boom, $300, cha-ching. It's like that's what he got paid to do. He made the dude was wealthy beyond belief, forming a company that's what they did because you know you need to have people living there, and that's why I think that perhaps squatter first started.
The odor of mendacity of occupation.
Seriously. Anyway, brother, I want to get to a few more calls. Let me
All right,
let you say anyway. Thank you so much for the call. I appreciate it, my brother.
I'll be back, buddy.
I look forward. Ciao. All right. So 972-454-0703 is the number to call in if you want I don't know what response I'm supposed to give you on playback. What do you want me to respond? I don't know what you want me to say, Elegant. I'd call in, but your tunnels get horrible reception. Tried to bounce the signal off Lizzo, but it overshot, ended up somewhere near Jupiter. Need to sick Mike Lindell on Biden over Easter. Yeah, he's relentless. He's awesome.
Call from the Trudy Show.
All right.
Hello. How are you?
You're the Pewdie Show?
Yes.
All right.
So I don't really know what to say about the Easter thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me? I think I accidentally had you on speaker. Sorry.
I hear you. You're good.
Okay. It's a my faith is a complicated subject for me because the rest of my family, except for me and my brother, still attend church religiously.
Mm-hmm.
My brother and I don't.
Okay.
But when these kind of things happen, trust me, I'm going to hear about it nonstop tomorrow.
Are you?
Nonstop. Oh yeah.
What are you going to hear about?
Easter was. Oh, Joe, I love my ultra-conservative evangelical parents very, very much.
Okay.
And trust me, some people in your chat will be mad if I tell you the things that I am going to hear. So I'm just not going to get into it.
Okay. Okay.
It's yeah. But so yeah. So to me that's complicated. But about this TikTok guy, I wasn't going to call it until someone say, "Oh, this is going to disappear from the news immediately." You guys, please just promise me the next time you hear this is going to disappear from the media because it doesn't fit the narrative, take 5 seconds, count to 10, and then go to any internet site that you can Google things or whatever search engine that you use. Google whatever the topic it is. If they have a tab that says News tab, click on that. And sometimes you can put these things in order by date. And guess what happens, Joe, every single time people start writing that this is going to disappear from the media because it doesn't fit whatever narrative. You know what? 9 times out of 10, that's not entirely true. A lot of people don't understand that even among conservative media, there's a news cycle. The amount of coverage something gets ebbs and flows and it changes. Sometimes it's deliberate. Sometimes it's not, because there's a million things going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as the national media goes, they're trying to cover it all. And anything that's going on with Trump right now, it's going to be one of the first stories that you see on the website. It just is.
All right.
So this will appear on it, but don't be surprised if it's among the grand scheme of things that are going on in the world, it's the 5th story on there.
Okay. Don't
be surprised.
I mean, look, the news is always looking for something new. So anyway, let me get on to the next caller. All right, Trudy?
Okay. All right. Well, I had something else I would say, but that's all right. I'll talk to you another time. Bye.
Okay. Take care. Great. Thank you for the call. So it's 972-454-0703. 972-454-0703. Lost and Lost saying, know how we never know how many times nuclear war was averted. We will never know how many catastrophes Abby Shapiro's rack prevented, but I'm thankful regardless. Sydney Sweeney, who? Thought so. Okay. You've been drinking tonight. You've been drinking. I know you've been drinking. I know you've been drinking. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know what's happening. The number is 972-454-0703. Scroll across the screen. If while you're here you could like and subscribe, I would be much obliged. I'm actually thinking about having a short show. So yeah. I need some juice. I'm a little tired. And I need some juice. And I want something I don't know. I'm feeling like something spicy. It's right around the corner. Right around the corner. No, I'm not taking that. I was going to touch something, which I was like, I don't think I want to touch that. I don't think I want to touch that. So I'll tell you my thoughts on Lionel Moreno. My thoughts on this guy. This guy. I think he's amazing, personally. I think he's amazing. He's obviously a smart guy. He's obviously a smart guy. I think he's amazing in that he helps display all the flaws in the Biden system. He displays all the flaws. He displays how terrible our system is. Hold on a second.
Call from
what we got here?
Kimmy Hunt.
Kimmy. Kimmy,
Hi, Joe.
how are you?
What do you know?
What are your thoughts? Two topics here. One is Biden announcing the trans Easter. The other is Lionel Moreno being arrested.
Well, the squatter dude got captured about 60 miles away from my house.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God I was in my house. And Governor DeWine will do whatever the establishment wants him to do.
He's a classic establishment guy.
He's John Kasich's little brother. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But no, about the Christian thing. First off, the Christian flag made its debut in 1942. So it's not been around just a short period of time, and it's basically flown there. It's displayed in pretty much all Protestant congregations. Usually hung by the American flag somewhere in the church. So just to let you know, every church I've been to since the 60s has had that flag. It's a cross. It's a cross in a field of blue. With a white flag with a field, there it is. You got it. Yeah.
So
that is the Christian flag, and we don't.
Is there any symbology to the colors? Is it to be American colors?
I think the cross is red because of the blood of Christ.
Okay.
I think the white is the sins being washed white as snow.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the blue means. You'd have to look it up somewhere. That's just off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, about Easter, it upsets me really bad. I know you're highly religious. I'm highly religious also.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fundamental Christian.
Okay.
But I also, like we talked last time, we are to live in the world, but we are not to be of the world. It is an abomination. I don't know if you read Franklin Graham's reply to President Biden,
mm-hmm.
but you should look that up and read what he said. He was succinct. He was to the point without being awful about it.
Okay.
I agree with Franklin Graham's reply to Biden. I don't know if he posted it on X or not, but I saw it on Getter. Basically, religion, Judaism, and Christianity are to celebrate creation, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And to uplift creation and to further humanity and to further spirituality. Trans is to mutilate creation. It is to mutilate and destroy God's creation.
I think that's fair. I think that's a fair point.
Through individuals.
Right.
And it's demoralizing.
That's an interesting perspective.
That as a veneer.
So this is it's an interesting perspective, because a lot of people, when they cite to why trans is an abomination, is they basically say, that God creates man and women, and you're basically trying to change that. But you're giving a different perspective, which is interesting. Say that one more time. You're saying that it's mutilation of the body.
It's mutilation of his creation.
Of his creation.
Of his perfect, of what he considers perfect in each one of us. We try, and as we live our lives and we try to become more spiritual, we are trying to constantly strive for a more perfect. What this does is it actually takes the foundation that he's created and destroy it, mutilate it.
Well, I actually have a long
hack it to bits.
Yeah, I have a long thought on that, but I don't want to keep you on the phone while I'm going through my long thought. I actually have a long thought, which I expressed once before. In fact, you inspired me to share this, and I was talking about this last night with was it last night or today? I lose track of time. But I was talking about this over the Shabbos with my family, and you inspired me to actually share this now. I mentioned it recently here.
Okay.
But about when you were basically saying to live in this world but not of this world. And
right.
And that inspired me, and it also relates a little bit to mutilation of the body. But yeah, are there any other thoughts? I'm going to get into that after I hang up with you. Are there any other thoughts you have before I let you go?
No, just look at what Franklin Graham said, and maybe put it up there for people to see what he said.
I actually pulled out something that he said a couple of years ago. That he said,
well, you
bring
should
the
see
onset
what he
of socialism
posted today with the trans,
Okay.
and talking about sin, and he brings it to sin.
Oh, okay.
So it's very, very interesting what he says. Anyway, I'll let you go, Joe. You have a good tomorrow. Have a good Sunday.
Thank you.
And
thank you. Happy Easter.
I know this isn't Passover yet, so
right. But
yeah, Easter is the first Sunday after the first full moon after the first day of spring.
There you go. every year. Thank you so much, Kimmy. I appreciate your call.
Bye
bye. And I'll tell you that, and I genuinely hope that every one of you who celebrates Easter has a phenomenal holiday, and find it uplifting. I'll tell you this: what she was talking about being in the world but not of the world. I talked about this recently, and I reviewed it, and I was trying to explain it to my family, because I've really been almost obsessing about this concept, because I'm so sure that I'm touching on something that is fundamentally true. That it's fundamentally true. And this is going to sound a little bit religious, but it's not religious. It's not really faith related. It's just, well, you'll see. It's not really Jew. It's more just about like recognition of God in general. When I'm talking to you right now, you and I are having a conversation. I know I'm doing most of the talking. You might be yelling at me, but you consider what you are. And the point that I was expressing to my family was, a person has a hand or foot or a leg. They can lose any part of their body, God forbid, and they would still be the same person. That's not you. When we talk about what is you, we really can boil down that there's that sentience that you have of your existence, but the you fundamentally can really be boiled down to your character and your character alone, or at least that's a manifestation of you, of what you are. What do I mean by that? Okay, so every healthy human is born with eyes, ears, nose, mouth to taste things, skin to touch things, and those basically incorporate your five senses right there to enable you to have a sense of your environment, keep yourself safe and productive. That's why you have eyes, as you can see, and ears to hear, and nose to smell, and mouth to taste. And that enables you to experience your environment, to really flesh out and understand your environment. And your environment means this world and your society as well. Everything that's in this world, including other people. So, and it also enables you to intake to information, vast amounts of information simultaneously. You see at the same time as you smell, the same time as you taste, same time as you touch. And these become imprinted in your brain. So much so that if I talk to you about walking on sand, everyone can understand what that feeling is like. Right away, you can get the feel of sand, and it's very distinctive from glass, which is very distinctive from metal. And these are all different things that we're able to incorporate and understand conceptually, and that you conceptualize based on experiences that you've had and experienced through your five senses. So right away, your brain can like picture it, because that's the significance of this imprint from these different senses that we have. But your different senses are not you either. A person can lose their sight and they're still the same person. A person could lose their sense of touch or taste or smell or go deaf, and they're still the same person, because the person is still the same person inside. They might lose capacity to actually appreciate different things about their environment, but they're still the exact same person. So what we actually have when we're looking at a person is that you basically start with this essence of a person. and you give them senses so that they can actually appreciate, understand, comprehend, and interact with their environment. Then you give them legs for mobility, and you give them arms and hands so that they can actually do things that are productive. And you strap that onto a torso, which is designed to actually keep the body functioning and keep it and be able to digest and circulate blood and oxygen and basically keep all of these things actually here alive. But none of those things are actually you. Your hands are not you, because your hand could be removed and you still would be you. Even your face, if your face was something completely different than what it is right now, you would still be you. Your experiences would likely be very different, but you as the person, the individual who like I'm talking to, who's comprehending what I'm saying right now, you would still be the same person. Like I said, you almost certainly would have vastly different experiences if your face was dramatically different, but that doesn't mean that you as an individual would be any different. So what we have basically is billions of people who are each different sets of, forms of you, individuals who are all blessed by God with senses so that they can manipulate through their environment, have legs so that they can actually walk around and interact with or away from others, a torso which enables them to not only exist but also to reproduce and form more yous, and ultimately, and then you have your brain. And most of your brain is not you either. A lot of people think that their brain is them, but that's not true either, because the memories that you store are very pliable. And if you lost your memories, you'd still be you. You might not be the same you that everyone remembers. People would feel like, oh, he's so different. But you, the person, is still the same. Even your intellect is not you, because that your intellect is really a reflection of either your memory, or you can look at it as a reflection of your ability to learn things quickly, but that's not you. So when we talk about what's you, do I respect you? Do I disrespect you? It's really the character of the person that we're invariably focusing on. Are they a patient person? Are they impatient? Are they hostile? Are they kind? All the different attributes and character traits are ultimately what define you as a person, far more than anything else. This is very, very important for a number of reasons, because you can look at yourself, and this is what I was trying to express to my family. When you look at who you are, and you look at yourself as being completely separate from your body, completely separate from that plane, you start to appreciate that all of the pleasures that you have, that your senses can enjoy, whether it's art, music, sexual, food, it doesn't matter. That all of these are just things that your body, it's not you are enjoying, it's your body is enjoying. It's a whole different way of actually looking at experiencing each of these different moments, because all of a sudden now that's not you. That's just your body, and your body is reacting to it, but it's completely separate from your enjoyment. And that's ultimately, none of these things in the long term end up actually making you happy. And that's why we see that when people engage in gluttony, or people develop, basically, become addicted to various forms of stimuli, and there are endless numbers of forms of stimuli. But then when you become addicted to these, when your body becomes addicted to these things, you feel terrible in engaging in them after a certain period of time. You sort of feel like a need to do it, and that's your body feels that need, but that's not you. That's not the you inside of you. The you inside of you is furnished with these senses. It's furnished with with this body which enables you to exist. It's furnished with your hands so you can be productive, and your legs to move around, and it's furnished with a memory bank that gives you your memories. And it's furnished with the ability to learn in varying degrees, and to comprehend things, and to be creative. And these might be manifestations of what's going through you, and what you think is good, what you think is bad, what you think should be embraced, what you think should be rejected. But ultimately, that's the real essence of what you are. And it's manifested. You manifest who you are. You manifest your own greatness by displaying and developing higher levels of character. When you develop your character and can have your character dominate the needs of your body, that's the type of person that ultimately gains the greatest respect. And it doesn't matter what your face looks like. Your face can look like Harriet Tubman, who, let's face it, she ain't winning any beauty prizes. That doesn't mean that she didn't have outstanding moral character and that she's not worthy of our deep respect. Because it doesn't matter what your face happens to look like. It's an amazing thing because when, like, I actually was thinking you can say, like, I hate your stupid face, and that's still not saying I hate you. It's just your face. I hate your face. You know, it's like, it's not you, because your face could look completely different and you would still be the same. To me, this is like such a different way of actually experiencing the world, because I think it makes it easier for you, at least for me, I can't say for any of you, but by actually really embracing this concept, it makes it easier for me to basically say, you know what, my body doesn't need another ice cream. And you sort of learn to control your appetites by recognizing, that's my body is basically trying to push me to do. But do I actually need it? No. And you can start actually honing yourself, disciplining yourself by recognizing that there's you, and you are gifted by God with all these different attributes, the senses, your brain, your arms and your legs for productivity and for mobility, but they're all you are basically a passenger in the vehicle that is your body. I'm going to say it again. You're a passenger in a vehicle that is your body, ultimately. And if you look at yourself as you're the passenger and your body is just that vehicle, which enables you to be in the world, I think it's easier for you to be in the world without necessarily being of the world. And I think far too often, I myself, like, I sort of like, lose sight as to, like, things that are important or ways of disciplining myself. And I've really been like spending a great deal of time, like just like this recognizing yourself as a passenger in your own body, I think it gives opportunity for you to actually reassess who you are as a person and what's really important. It helps you reassess, what's important and what we recognize in others. It helps us reassess who we should respect and who we should not be we should not be giving respect to. We tend to naturally be drawn towards people who are attractive, people who have money. And these are all things that, like, the you inside of you, if you could divest that and recognize that as a separate entity from your body, that you would actually recognize that those are things that are really stupid to actually be admiring. It's immature to be admiring it. That's not to say that you're immature, because we all fall prey to that to some degree. But at least if you could start to recognize it, I think it enables you to more easily try to rise above it, rise above the lure that your own body, directions that your own body is naturally going to carry you. I don't know. That was what I was trying to get across. That would be amazing. Keybridge should be renamed in Moreno's honor. I'm going to turn off my Do Not Disturb, which I had on for a while here. I'm only drunk on life. May the chocolate bunnies be with you, brother. I hope you have a phenomenal Easter, my brother. Really. Christian Flag was first conceived September 26, 1897, Brighton Chapel on Coney Island in Brooklyn, New York, by the superintendent of his Sunday school, Charles C. Overton. Is he the one who invented the window? So don't be the world. So don't be of the world is message today. Yeah, it is. That really is what the message is today. Great Easter message, Joe. Don't be of the world, but be of God. The world will take your body into sin. Yeah. And it's a message to really just help you try to control your appetites and recognize a lot of people cave in and says, I can't help it. That's what my body wants. And that's what the whole transgender movement is. That's what my body's telling me. It's all fiction. I saw someone try calling me several times while I was giving that whole thing. So I'm going to call them back. We'll see who they were. But what do we got? What do we got? Let's call them. We're going to call them.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. This is Joe, aka Good Lawgic.
Oh my gosh, is this Good Lawgic?
It is Good Lawgic.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I'm such a big fan. I'm sorry to be weird.
No, you're not being weird at all. Don't worry. It was a
Oh
little.
my gosh.
It's a little weird for me to be calling you at 2:30 in the morning. So, what's your name?
No, I'm Amber.
Hi, Amber. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What's on your mind? Are you? Let's start with this. Are you Christian?
I'm Catholic.
All right. So you'll be celebrating Easter?
I'm the worst one. No.
Okay. So,
No, I'm just being silly. I'm just saying because
right.
Catholics are hardcore.
So you celebrating Easter?
I am. I just got the girls' Easter baskets. I have little ones, so just got their Easter baskets together, and I'm hiding out a little bit. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay.
I was just listening to the whole like Transgender Day of Remembrance or whatever it is.
Visibility.
No, I know.
Do you need more trans people to be more visible to you? Is that what you're looking for in your life? Is that what will make your life better if more trans people are more visible to you?
No. I just think it's so silly because Biden, he touts this whole like, I'm a Catholic, he goes to church. He goes to all sorts of churches,
Mm-hmm.
It's like black churches and white churches and Catholic churches. He's been to all of them. But it's so bizarre to me that he would choose Easter. And I know Easter doesn't fall on the same day. So like next year, the 31st of March is not going to be Easter.
Right.
So it's like, it is what it is in a way, but
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of odd to me where it's like, where is but you know what I also think?
What's that?
Which might sound kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's really in charge. And I think things are kind of happening and he really has like no like thumb on the pulse of like humanity right now.
I think that he has more of a finger on the pulse
of
not humanity, of what the people he hopes will come out and vote for him.
Oh, what works.
Yeah, what's most politically convenient for him. That's what I think this is.
But it's weird because like, okay, so I'm Catholic and I feel like I've always leaned Republican because of my faith or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
I know that might kind of sound strange, but even my, family members who are Democrats
Mm-hmm.
have like a weird feeling of this push in this direction. And I don't know if it's because I have girls, like my husband and I have girls and we're looking at it like from the lens of sports and like they're athletes, and it's just bizarre to me that he would kind of push so far left.
There's always a little further to push. Amber, there's always a little further to push. There's always a little further.
Right. That's what Jordan Peterson says, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Jordan Peterson says that. You give a little bit, and before you know it, you're somewhere you've never thought you would ever be. And kind of think that's reality, and that's weird. And it's like, you know, I'm so for like everyone doing what they do, and you know, you look at life and you're like, yeah, you know, you do you. I'm never going to be like someone who, like, not to sound like harsh on any religion, but like a Jehovah's Witness, like shows up to your door. I'm never going to do that in the faith I'm in.
Right.
But it's odd to me that it's pushed so heavy in the opposite direction, where you would feel like if that's the way it moves, but it feels very forced in this time, and I'm kind of confused by it. It feels, I don't know. I don't know. I just, it makes me worried for my kids because I have young girls, and I'm like, I just want them to be like good people, but there's all these like obstacles in the way.
Right.
It's
but what I'll tell you is this: just continually stressing them that what they should value, what society, that the only people whose opinion matters are those who are judging them based on their values.
No, 100%. Yeah.
That's because part of the problem of being a child or going through adolescence is that there's way too much stock that's put in the opinions of idiots, and the way to help them repel that is to basically make them crave the appreciation of people who are respecting them for their values mostly. That's where they put most of, and that way they're not seeking validation from people who are going to be validating them for being idiots or for being puppets of others, or for flaunting themselves, or for things that are base and are counterproductive to their own long-term happiness. So to recognize, to get them to recognize that when they show kindness, that deserves more praise than even getting 100 on test.
No,
the display of kindness and charity and caring about others, and I mean also to teach them that caring for others doesn't mean giving the others what they want all the time, because sometimes people have self-destructive desires.
Right.
So
for sure.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah,
Amber.
No.
I appreciate Amber. I appreciate the call. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much. And you have I know you don't celebrate Easter, but you know, have a wonderful day.
Well, I hope you have a phenomenal Easter. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night. All right. 972-454-0703. I'm probably going to be busting out of here in a few minutes. I'll take one or two more calls. But yeah. That's I do think that kids tend to just crave validation from everyone. And sometimes that itself is what leads them into like the worst situations. That's why so many of them are so messed up. It's because they're just they're desperate to be recognized by their peers, and just really messed up values. Really, really messed up values. There was one other person here who tried getting through to me that I'm seeing. There were a couple, but I feel weird calling people back. I'll do one. I'll make this the last call. Ah.
Call from
Malcolm.
To accept, press 1.
Malcolm.
Hey, Joe.
How are you, brother?
Good. Well, I'm amazed I got through.
I'm pleased that you did. What's on your mind tonight, my brother?
Not much. I just wanted to. I know Passover's coming up soon. It's coming up soon, right?
Passover is coming up. It's like 3 weeks away.
Okay, I know it's usually around the same general time. spring.
Yeah, what happened this year is that on the Jewish calendar, they actually made this year 13 months long. So they sort of push in order there's a quirk in the calendar where we work with a lunar calendar, which is 354 days instead of 365. So
okay.
So because of that, the year ends up being 11 days shorter. So in order to ensure that Passover comes out in the spring, so rabbinic authority basically instituted thousands of years ago that every like 7 times out of 19 years they'll add a leap month. And our month is a lunar calendar is basically 29 days. It's pretty much the same as a woman's cycle. So
okay.
So it lasts 29 days. And anyway, bottom line is that in order to help keep the calendar seasonal, that they instituted that thousands of years ago. So this year happens to be one of those 7 years in the 19-year cycle where there's an extra month. Whenever that happens, invariably, Easter's going to come out well before Passover. But next year it'll be like closer in time. So like it's always a month after Purim, and Purim was last Sunday, so it's going to be like 30 days after that. So
okay.
Anyway, what's on your mind, brother?
Ned, I know you got to go soon. I was just calling in to ask if you ever play that Ace Attorney game. Oh man,
everyone's all over me to play this game. What is the game? What is the whole point of the game?
So you play as a defense attorney. It's like a fictional legal system where all trials have to occur within a 3-day period. So there's an investigation phase where you go around snooping and doing all the there's no discovery or anything. You got to do like the digging by talking to witnesses and stuff. And then there's a trial phase, and basically it alternates between you going around talking with witnesses and then the trial where you use evidence that you gather in the investigation phase. And some in the trial you can use to find contradictions in the person who's testifying's testimony, and then you go back and forth with the prosecutor. And there's like a story. It's pretty good. It's like defense attorney the game. I just think it would be interesting if you covered it on if there's a dead news week or month or whatever. If you covered the game and like pointed out what was different about the legal system.
That's interesting.
In the U.S. versus the legal system in this game, because obviously this game takes there's a lot of things that.
How long does it take? How long does it take to play the game?
It depends on the case. Some of the cases are quicker than others.
Ballpark it. Like
you could do the game. You could do the game in. Pardon?
Range it out for me. Like, is it like an hour? Is it 3 hours? What is it? What are we looking at?
No, I'd say each trial could take between 1 to 3 hours, depending on you play it in cycles. So basically, like if you get to day 2, I'd save and come back later. And like if you just did it occasionally in dead weeks.
Interesting. I might try that.
Yeah.
I might try that out. So where would I get my hands on this game?
There's a games platform called Steam where you could download the game. I would recommend, if you're gonna play the Phoenix Wright trilogy.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's other games you can get individually, but that one's sort of those are the most well known and popular of the franchise. There's another trilogy as well, but it kind of doesn't all the games have the same story and are set in the same universe, so it wouldn't really make sense to play the others. I would just say, if you get the trilogy, play the first Ace Attorney game, and then if you like it, move on from there, because the games get harder as they go, because they add mechanics, and the first one, they didn't really have everything settled. So
cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate the recommendation, my brother. I'm actually looking at it right now over here, and I'm trying to just figure out how I would play this online, but Let me see what this works with by now.
If you use OBS, I don't know. Like you could probably figure it out with that, or I don't know what you use to stream, but
All right, no, definitely. I mean, it's $30. It seems like worth a shot. So why not? All right, thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Highly recommend. Anyway, thanks, Joe. Thanks for taking my call. Happy in 3 weeks Passover, and I'll watch
Easter.
your streams. So,
all right, take care, my brother.
Happy Easter. Good night, brother.
All right. I wanted to share with you all my daughter's Harriet Tubman story because I think you'll appreciate this. So we're sitting at the table last night. It's me, Lady Lawgic, my 9-year-old, my new son-in-law, and his wife, my daughter. And I don't even know how it came up. But basically, Lady Lawgic said, so apparently blackface is forbidden in my daughter's school. And I was like, what? What is that? What does that mean? So she's like, well, so my little one, so my 9-year-old, she's doing this project where she's researching Harriet Tubman. And she's supposed to do a presentation about the life of Harriet Tubman while dressed up and looking like Harriet Tubman. But she was told specifically not to put on blackface. And the reason that she was told, the teacher said, we don't want you putting on blackface is because that's racist. And my daughter was confused by this because she said, I'm honoring her. So I was like, so she said, I wanted to, the point was that I wanted to look like her out of honoring her because she was a great woman. So, but her teacher was like, no. You can't, anything else you want is fine, but no blackface because that's racist. Now, me personally, I don't see how that's racist. I think my daughter's perspective is 100% correct. That if it's not a matter of what you're doing, but what your motivation is behind it, which is really a statement as to what, the nature of what you're doing. It's not, you don't look at just action. You look at why is the person doing the action to judge whether or not something has a negative tone to it. How could it have a negative tone if the objective is to be praising Harriet Tubman? So that, and my 9-year-old is like, then I saw a picture of Harriet Tubman. And she goes, Miss Lodge goes, when she saw Harriet Tubman, she thought it was a man. So I started Harriet Tubman. So I was like, and she was like, man, I knew I should have been Anne Frank. When she saw that she was going to have to dress up as Harriet Tubman, my daughter was regretting not choosing Anne Frank instead. Just like out of the blue, she just goes, I knew I should have been Anne Frank. So, I was dying. I was like, oh my God. From the mouths of babes. Should have been. Yeah. I guess if you're a 9-year-old doing a presentation, that's probably I guess it was about, like, historic women is what the project was. I don't know if this is supposed to be uplifting about women or what, or I don't know what it was. I didn't know Anne Frank. It was like short. Until she said that, I didn't know she was choosing between Harriet Tubman and Anne Frank. Harriet Tubman, she was genuinely a great woman. She really was. Amazing woman. So no one should take from anything I said here any disrespect at all intended to Harriet Tubman. Although I was like, what about grills? Can she get grills? I said to Lady Lawgic, can she get grills? That would not be racist. That wouldn't be. She get cornrows. It's so dumb. It's so I don't understand it. I don't understand. I don't understand anything about this. I don't understand anything about this. I don't think that's racist at all. When I dressed up on this past Purim, I can't even have this conversation in this context. I can't. This is gonna be clipped wrong. This is gonna be clipped wrong. This is totally gonna be clipped wrong. In the video edit that someone does when they clip this, you're gonna see at this moment, you're gonna see right after that where I just said it's gonna be clipped wrong. A few minutes later. Yeah, I really can't have that. I can't. No. I'm not. It's not gonna, it's just people are gonna just it's gonna be clipped wrong. It's gonna be clipped wrong. So when I was drunk, all I'll say is this. When I was drunk, I spent most of the night saying, no, that doesn't make me the racist. That makes you the racist. So there you go. Let me check out Franklin Graham's letter to let me let you. Where am I at here? Franklin Graham replied to Biden. I don't even see Franklin Graham's thing here. Let me see if this has any reference to it. Control F. I'm really struggling to find this, Kimmy. Kimmy sent me on this. I'm not finding it. Nope. I found something from 3 years ago, but nothing like in the last 24 hours. Still can't believe they won't let her dress up like Harriet Tubman. They're crying out loud. Crying out loud. She's just trying to honor her. She's really confused by it. She doesn't even understand how it's racist. And I said, I'd like to explain it to you, but I can't because it isn't. Still not seeing Franklin here. Control that. Nope. Don't see it. All right. That's my show for tonight, and I'm sticking to it. Hope you all had a good time. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. We learned a few things. I got a little rant out, told you a little Harriet Tubman story. And yeah, I think that's it. I'll see you all tomorrow. We're going to be winding down. It's coming in. The plane's coming in. The wheels are down. The wheels are down. You should be buckled up. Here it comes. I will see you all tomorrow. I really genuinely hope that every one of you who is celebrating Easter have a phenomenal Easter. And if you're not celebrating Easter, that you just have a great day. And I will, God willing, I will see you tomorrow evening. Until then, you know what you got to do. Stay happy. No matter what you do not eat the bugs. And as always, for my friends, I say good night and Godspeed.